And joining us via Zoom are political experts that are joining us.
Yes, we're checking in with former Representative Republican Mark Baker and current House Democratic Caucus Chairman Representative Robert Johnson. Thank you, gentlemen, both of you, for being with us. Mark, let's start with you.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Mark, the president wins Mississippi. How are things nationally for him?
Well, what we're seeing is where we saw Vice President Biden trending down, it looks like those are breaking for President Trump. We're seeing that in Florida, and we're seeing some early votes throughout. And so things look really good for President Trump in the areas that he needs to pick up votes. You know, in 2016, President Trump told the country and showed the country that rural America was serious about voting. And I think in 2020, we're seeing that same turnout. I have seen reports, anecdotal reports, and others talking about looking at and showing the voter turnout. And I think we're going to have an exceptional turnout. I think it's going to be a record. And I look at and see, we're looking at the trends, and things are trending for President Trump throughout the country.
All right, Representative Johnson, we are seeing Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith with an early lead. Do you think she's going to hold that, or can SB make a difference here?
Well, I think he'll make up quite a bit of ground. It's early. Traditionally, the boxes of Democratic boxes will come in late, and so that's it's kind of early in the numbers. I'm looking at a pretty low percentage numbers. She hadn't campaigned much. Mike has worked extremely hard. I think he has done a good job of speaking to the issues that concern Mississippians that need to be addressed, that Senator Hyde-Smith has done nothing to address them. And I think people will respond to that. And so we're hopeful it will be an upset. It will be an unexpected win in the state of Mississippi. But if there's a time for it to happen, it'll happen then.
Do you believe that the number of voters that we're seeing, the big results of people still in line to vote, will make a difference?
I think it will make an exceptional difference. And I think you can look to mark applause the president, and if I were a Republican, I'd do that too. But we're thankful for the president because I think he has been so strident in his positions that are just the opposite of the things that Democrats are interested in and we care about, that people do understand that their vote makes a difference. And in an effort to make sure that we exact some change in this country, I've noticed that people are encouraged and interested in coming out. I mean, this is what an election should be like. People should feel strongly about one candidate or another. And I don't think we've had an election in quite some time where people have felt strongly on one side or the other. And I actually think that's a great thing.
Mark, the SB campaign is banking that there will be some Republicans that will cross over, vote for President Trump and also vote for him. Do you see that happening?
I really don't. I mean, obviously there'll be some, but no significant numbers in that regard. In looking at the two campaigns, I think Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith ran a very positive campaign. I know Robert says that she didn't campaign. I was saw many events, was at events, and she worked really hard. I mean, she was somewhat busy. And when Robert talks about, well, the things that President Trump was running for and stood for, the things that brought people out to vote, he's exactly right. And when he said that he was going to appoint conservative judges to the Supreme Court and the courts of the United States, District Court, Federal, and the Court of Appeals, he's done that, and that has brought voters out. President Trump has kept his promises, and for Republicans and others that look at the way this country is going and the direction that it's moving, I think that this is a referendum, obviously, on President Trump's performance, but what we're seeing tonight shows that the American people are responding to the work that President Trump has done.
Does it matter that Cindy Hyde-Smith did not want to debate SB? Do people care about that, or was that not an issue at all?
Well, we'll find out here in a little bit, won't we? But apparently, it didn't. There are two schools of thought, and she was under the school of thought that if you're leading and the issues are clear and the voters are informed, that you run to get reelected, and she did that. we can argue all we want to about those particular issues, but the polls are closed and the votes are being counted now, and it looks like she's going to prevail. I think the 8 points that we were hearing about with regard to this particular race, I think it's going to come in that area. So there's no great surprise there. I think Michael Guest will perform as we expect. You know, in Mississippi, we've got some really neat issues going on and showing the electorate and the movement there. We've got 65 and 65A. We've got the electoral college versus popular vote issue going on. And, you know, we've got the flag vote. So we've got a lot of things happening in Mississippi. And then throughout the country, setting aside the presidential race, we've got the Senate to look at. The Democrats have to net 4 seats to take over control of the majority if they don't win the White House, and they'll have to net 3 if they do. And we're looking at things break, and we're, you know, very interested in some of these races. They're down 1 already in Alabama, so now they've got to pick up their numbers there. It looks like there's going to be an issue in North Carolina. The Democrat is doing better than many thought, based on some of the scandals, some of the things that were going on about the marital infidelity and all those issues that came up late in the race. So we're just going to have to see, because the Senate, I think Robert will agree, some of the issues with regard to this, what's going on, the Senate races throughout the country are vitally important.
And Robert, let's talk about the Senate races here. Do you think that the Democrats will take control of the Senate, or do you think that that's going to be a challenge?
I think they will. When you look at Arizona, and Mark mentioned North Carolina, and I think it's going to be, people are not talking about Georgia, but I think, and I don't think that will be decided tonight. I think there'll be a runoff, and I think that there's a good chance that Democrats can pick up a seat in Georgia. So there are possibilities, and we feel very strongly about it. Arizona is one we feel extremely